Okay, sequences review number 2. We have a sequence, which is a list of numbers that are connected by a pattern. And so we have -1 to 999 to 399 to 599. Okay? And if numbers are kind of intuitive to you, you would see that this is plus 200. So the way we are getting from term to term is just by adding 200 to each term. But if you didn't know the common difference, then you could just do term 2 minus term 1, okay? And you would do 199 minus -1, and you would get 200. So even if you don't know for sure what it is, if it was maybe a fraction and you were unsure what you would have to add from one to get to the other, then you could try a2 minus a1. You would find a common difference, and then I would test it to see, can I go from term 2 to term 3 by adding 200? And I can, so that's my common difference. It asks us to write the next 3 terms in this sequence. So what we're going to do to do that is basically a recursive formula that we're saying the way to get the 5th term is to take the 4th term, 599, and add 200 to it. And you get 799. And then you add 200 more to get to the 6th term, and it becomes 999. And then you add 200 more, and it's 1,199. Okay, so those are the next 3 terms. And then the last step, we have to find term a sub 23, or the 23rd term. What is that? Well, for arithmetic sequences, you should know that we have this formula, an explicit formula, and it's very similar to y equals mx plus b. Let me change those around. I think we usually do d times n plus a sub 0. So a sub 0 is like the y-intercept. It's when n is 0. If n could be 0, what would the term value be? And then the common difference, which we already have. So we have a sub n is 200n, okay, plus some number. Whoa. 200n. But what is that number? Well, if we want to find a sub 0, then what we can do is we can just say, if I'm going forward, I have to add 200. So if I want to go backwards, I should subtract 200. So it would be term 1 minus the difference. Term 1 is -1 minus 200. So term 0 is just -201. And that's what goes here. Go back to term 23. A sub 23. And so what we have done here is we have taken this n, and we've said that's no longer a variable that we don't know. We know that we want the 23rd term. And what we do in the equation is we replace the n with 23. So the first 23, that's a subscript, and it just tells us what term we are going to find. And then in the equation, the n is how many common differences we would do to get there. Okay, so if you had -201, -1, 199, 399. Okay, so what you're doing is, if you're trying to find term 3, for example, then that is 1, 2, 3 common differences. And that's how that's why this equation works. That is the number. We are doing 23 common differences from -201 to get to the 23rd term. And when you do that, 4,600, that would be 43.99. Let me double check that. Yep. 4,399. And that's all for that one.